there sex after 60? Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters. And I see that both Marcia and Karen are not here today. Well, I'm actually not going to talk about sex after 60. That was just a thought of a young and dumb 22-year-old who was newly married and was wondering, I wonder if my parents or in-laws ever get into it. Now that was truly, in perspective, a young and dumb thought. What I'm going to share with you today is a story, and it's a story about a chance encounter at Costco. It has to do with age, perspective, consequences of choices we make. And I want you to imagine, if you will, that you're with me going to Costco. Now, I'm going to Costco because they have a great deal on computer paper. For $29.99, you can get a box this big, about 12 reams of computer paper. Great deal. I go through the cashier in the checkout line. I look at my American Express bill. It's $227.32. I went for $29.99 worth of stuff. Choice number one, financial accountability. Only spending what you went there to spend. While I'm doing this, my wife and I decide, and you all are coming with me, to go to the snack bar. Choice number two. Do I actually eat the apples and oranges that I bought there as a healthy snack, or do I buy the greasy pizza or that fried corn dog? Well, I'm not going to tell you what we chose, but we didn't choose well. But here's where the story really develops. Because I'm going to introduce you to Saul. Now imagine, if you will, you're sitting down at the snack bar, and you see, first of all, this young family. It's a father and two children. And he takes his children and he sits them down and situates them at the table, and he gets in line to get the snacks for his kids. Off in the distance, here comes this old guy with a cane. He's doing the old guy shuffle, you know, kind of. And he's headed to the snack bar, and he's headed to the closest table where the children are. He gets there, he starts to sit down, and the father in line says, "Excuse me, sir, you can't sit there. That table's taken." Now, everybody in the snack bar is going, "You got to be kidding me." Now, I'm going to give the father the benefit of the doubt that he's thinking, I'm teaching my kids a lesson, you don't talk to strangers, as opposed to what we were all thinking, jerk! But he could have taught a different lesson and made a different choice. He could have said, "Sure, have a seat, sir. You know, my name is John. What's your name?" Taught his children to respect their elders and to be kind to old people. But he didn't make that choice. So Saul is standing there, and he kind of looks at the guy quizzically, and then he went, smile on his face, and he shuffles over to my table. My wife and I are sitting there. We invite Saul to sit down. We have a nice, pleasant conversation with him. He introduces himself, and we introduce ourselves, and the subject turns to age. I look at Saul, and I'm not shy. "Well, Saul, how old are you?" And you know he's been asked this question before. So he looks at you with a smile, and he says, "How old do you think I am?" I looked at him. My parents are in their 80s, and I'm gauging his age. I figure he's about their age, but maybe not quite as healthy because he's got a cane. I says, "You're 80. He looks at me and goes, "Ha, I haven't seen that in a while." The answer surprised me. I said, "Well, 85. Same answer. "Ha, I haven't seen that in a while." This goes on to 95. Finally, I said, "Saul, how old are you?" He looks at me and he says, 103. I was stunned. 103. Now the man's walking in under his own power with a cane to Costco. Now think about the choices that he's made in his life to get to this point. He chose, obviously, a healthy lifestyle, must have had good diet and exercise, and gone to the doctors, taken his medication. He obviously chose financial accountability and responsibility so that he's financially secure at age 103, able to go to Costco shopping. These are choices that he made to get to that age. As we continue to talk, I learned that he gave up his right to drive 3 years ago. And I'm thinking that's a good choice. I have a little bit more peace of mind. One less 100-year-old guy on the road. But then my parents are 80-some and they're driving. He also tells me that he's married to a much younger woman. She's doing the shopping and she drives now. She's 83. Now think about that for a minute. If I'm a father and there's a 40-year-old Saul wanting to date my 20-year-old daughter, I'm not too happy about that. If he's 50 and wanting to date my 30-year-old daughter, okay, but still not wild about it. When it comes from 40 to 60, it changes a little bit. And I'm sure if you had asked Saul, he'd have thought, what's the big deal? That was my chance encounter with Saul. It made a big impression on me, and hopefully you enjoyed the story. I look at Saul as having set himself up a culture of making good decisions for his life so that he could live the good life when he got older, at age 103, to be able to be independent, to be able to be healthy, to be able to be financially secure at that age. I don't know about you, but I think I'll live to 100. And I hope I make the right choices. Will you? And I was dying to ask him if there was sex after 100. But if I make the right choices and I get there, I'll let you know. Mr. Contest.